Go.
Hello, and welcome to One Life Wing It. I almost said Hardgraph Theatre Company then, because I've been used to be doing videos.
Answering the phone as well.
Answering the phone, yes, it's Christmas. Christmas
Yay.
is on the way. It's November the 26th, 2017.
Yes, 26th.
And what we're talking about today, Auntie Jo?
We're going to talk about our Kit, our dog, and talk about how we're the two most reluctant dog owners ever, but the best dog owners ever as well.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I was talking about this a few weeks ago, wasn't I? I was thinking of a show, and I was thinking of stories. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking of stories specific to me, you know, like Grass is part of my life, Thick as Thieves is a bit of my, you know, so it's kind of autobiographical. And then I was just thinking about my life, and I was thinking about Kit, and some of the stories that we've shared together, because he is my favourite word ever for a dog. What is it? Begins with M. Ends in ick.
Oh, Maverick.
He is. He's a maverick dog.
He is.
He's a maverick dog. He is.
He's a miserable old bugger now, though.
Well, it takes. I think. You see,
It takes your personality.
I
agree.
I agree. So he's. You know, when we first met him, he was. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what happens. He comes from. This is where it always makes me feel sad, really, because I never wanted a dog. I've never wanted a pet in my life, really.
No.
When we had dogs. Did you have dogs?
No,
when you were growing up?
I wasn't brought up with pets or anything.
Well, we had a couple. We had Tina and Simba, and then later Xena.
Flipping out.
So there's a Tina, Xena, Simba, and so I suppose, you know, we always had dogs. We had like Simba was a massive Alsatian. So when I was about 14, we had this massive Alsatian. And my mum used to say, going out, Mum, she said, you had to take Simba with you, and you'd never have any trouble. Ever,
That's
obviously.
good. That's
you know what I mean?
really... Isn't it funny about it? Wouldn't have been on a lead. Dogs just used to roam about, didn't they, then?
Yeah, exactly. And you'd see them all the time, didn't you? You
All
saw
the
them all the
time.
time, like shagging or...
And then your mates would go, don't go near that one, it's got rabies. And you'd be like, oh.
You would never see a dog. Well, we'll tell the stories because he has been lost so many times.
Maverick that he is.
But I bought him. I say I bought him. I didn't buy him. My ex-wife bought him from a farmer in Diggle, in Saddleworth, and she was cunning. This farmer's wife. My son Billy was he was in a playgroup in Diggle, which is a really nice playgroup. It was a lovely playgroup actually, and they bought these puppies down in a tray.
Clever.
So they were like a week old or 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So they were lovely little fluffy.
Really cute.
Yeah. And she came down to talk about these puppies and stuff. Of course, everyone fell in love with these puppies.
Yeah.
And she was, you know, it happens to be selling them for £100 a pop. So...
it's only what you do.
Yeah, but my wife said, let's get one. I said, I don't want one. I don't want one. It is actually what I do. I'd do it worse than that. I'd send them videos and everything. I'd collect their email addresses and keep sending them YouTube videos of cute dogs with a gun at his head, saying, buy it or he'll die. So my ex-wife's like, oh, let's buy one. I'm like, no. Anyway, she bought one and she told me. And then we went to pick him up and he was lovely. And the farmer, as I left, he told me that sheepdogs is a border collie, and we ought to explain what he looks like, actually, didn't we, really? What does he look like?
He's quite big.
He's not quite big. He's about knee high.
Well, any other border collie I ever see, though, is about flipping 75% the size of him. So he's a big dog for a border collie.
It's because he's fat and all, though. He's wide.
He's fat. He's super hairy as well.
Yeah. He's black and white. And
we ought to put a photograph of him up.
I'll put a photograph up. That'll do. So we bought this dog, and the farmer said he actually gave me a little masterclass. He told me to be really hard with them.
Yeah.
He said they want a master. They want someone to, he said don't let them in your living room on the settee and all that rubbish. He says what I do as well. He had a cap on, and he said if they jump up you, just take your cap off like I had a cap on. You know what I mean? I'm fat bloke from Nottingham. He said I just whack them on the nose like that. I was like, oh, a bit cruel, like you. But I suppose
But you can see he's so clever. He would absolutely
do it twice, wouldn't he? Do
Yeah.
it twice, and then he won't bother.
But he'd take advantage if you didn't do it.
Yeah,
I know he lies on the settee when we go out
Yeah.
and jumps off when he hears the bloody key come in the door.
I know. I reckon he smokes and everything.
I do.
I reckon he's on
Nicks
the
me
wine and
gin.
everything. I reckon he's learnt how to make gin and tonics. No, so he also said that any border collie, they have one syllable words because when you work them, and you got a dog called Fly, imagine a dog called Fly, and imagine a dog called Tina.
Yeah.
So to call Tina, it
Yeah.
just makes it twice as long.
They are when you watch that one man and his dog thing
I
on
just
TV.
told you that. His son is a champion dog trainer in Cumbria, and he trains dogs specific because a couple of his brothers or sisters went to Cumbria, and they were trained up to be
that's interesting.
sheepdogs. Yeah, because there was a litter. I think the litter was about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And he was the runt, really. He was the runt. Everyone had the pick because the farmers take the best dogs out, and
Yeah.
they'll make a lot of money out of them because you know how much they charge. They're really expensive, thousands.
What the best sheep
Dogs that are trained. Yeah. So her brother.
They're worth the weight in gold, I suppose, though. If
Well,
they're
it's an
working.
extra man, isn't it?
Yeah,
and all you're doing
exactly
is giving them a
it
bit of
is.
snap, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bit of snap, bit of love, and away you go.
So what made him know that? Was it just because he was the last born and he was the smallest or something that they didn't
suppose
choose
just
him to
look.
work?
They know, don't they? I mean,
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
animal people.
Yeah.
That farmer would have been around border collies all his life. Do you not remember that bloke that came up to his camping that said, "Have a look in his mouth"?
Yeah.
And he said, "And have a look how black the inside of his mouth was," and it makes you'll know how clever the dog is. I don't know how true that is. I mean, we ought to Google that really, but that's what he said anyway. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I mean, he's a smart dog.
He's a smart dog.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So we got him home, right? And obviously kids loved him, and he's bouncing around and stuff. But straight away, it became my chore. It became me who had to take him for a walk because everyone else would just take him outside,
Yeah.
and that'd be it. Do you know what I mean? And I'd be going, he's a border collie. He's used to walking up and down mountains and going for miles and miles and
They
miles.
live outside and run all over, don't they?
When he was younger, if he didn't have a good walk, he would be pacing, really. He
Yeah.
was like a prisoner. And he always wanted to be. I mean, look at him now. I mean, if you say the words WALK,
Well, I've known him 6 years now, and when I first met him, obviously, he was just a pretty young dog, wasn't it? And he used to pace all the time, and he got two hours walking a day, pretty much, didn't he?
Easily. I mean, that's the thing. So from day one, really, he's been my dog, and by default, really, it's because I was like the stay-at-home father, and I would have to take the dog for a walk, so he became my dog. And the thing is about dogs that it's obvious, really, but the more time you spend with them, you become the boss.
Yeah.
So I become this boss of this dog from very early doors, really early doors, and we lived together, and I can't really remember. There weren't really many stories. I mean, he had a passport. He went to France with us.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting because we went over in the car and stuff. He absolutely loved that. He liked going away because they had a house in the country, so he was living in the country. He loved that.
Yeah.
And then when me and my wife split up, he went mad because I left the house. And
I can imagine that.
And he went mad, and he just bark all night long, just bark and bark and bark and bark for me. So I ended up with a dog just to be nice, and sometimes wish I hadn't bothered, but my wife just threatened that she'd just give him away.
Yeah.
Give him away, wouldn't it? And then I thought, well, that's not fair. It's not his fault, is it? And he loves me. He absolutely loves me, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it's really bizarre. It's like, it's like a love I've never. I suppose I have because I've got a mother and stuff, and I've got brothers and sisters and things. And I've got you, but I know when he looks at me how much he loves me.
Yeah,
and he
I know,
really, really does love me. And everyone else in the house.
It's
not the
you.
same,
It's
is
definitely
it?
you.
And I don't know why, because I'm not the nicest of owners to
You're
him,
just
am
his boss, aren't you?
I suppose.
You're
I
his
suppose.
boss. It's It's respect, probably. It's quite nice. It's quite sweet, isn't it?
Yeah. So early doors, anyway, when he's walking, he used to leg it all the time. It's just full of energy, I suppose. And he used to leg it after other dogs, and then he'd disappear, and then he'd turn up again. I mean, he always did turn up, bless him. So we decided to have his balls cut off, and then since he had his balls cut, it did calm him down a bit. You know what I mean? He's not so boisterous. Unfortunately, I'm sure they put weight on. And,
okay.
And he's been shagged by every single dog going, because it must have got rid of some hormone or something. He must produce estrogen instead of testosterone. I don't know.
He does an awful lot of running off though, doesn't he? Even with no balls.
Well, when I don't know where to start the story really, because when I left my wife, I went to live in a caravan on the side of a hill. This one bed, two berth caravan, and Kit came with me, and it was middle of winter, this time of year really, a bit later, January, and there was just me and Kit, and it was all right. It was really good company. And the great thing about it is I was depressed at the time, really fed up with my life, is that you have to get up and take a dog for a walk.
Absolutely.
You can't say to a dog, "Oh, I can't be bothered." Well, you can.
It's your own personal CBT, isn't it?
It is really.
You
and
have
every
to
morning
do it.
I got up every single morning at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and left the house and walked for, miles really with him. Just miles and miles and miles in my own head, thinking and thinking and thinking. And then again in the afternoon we walked again. So it did me a lot of good really early doors.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Shaw.
Yeah.
We moved into a flat, and it was the first or second night was in this flat, and it's like the flat was. Do you remember? I had Ray who lived above me.
Yeah.
And it was like it's a 1-bedroom council. Flat.
I remember it well.
When you become homeless, I went for a walk. At the end of the night, I generally take him out just for a wee.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I took him out for a walk, and we got to the bottom of the road, and he saw a cat. Now, he hates cats. I mean, he hates cats. He saw this cat and he legged it after this cat.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him again then for 3 days. Just disappeared. And I was there. He'll come back. But we'd just moved in. Yeah. So he hadn't, because they cut their legs everywhere. He cocks his leg everywhere. That's why I know he can always get back.
Yeah.
And as soon as you let him off the lead, if you watch him, he'll cock his leg. And then he'll mark the path all the way to wherever we're going.
Yeah,
and he'll always smell his way back. He can smell his way back just in case. So he's not, he didn't know the area. Anyway, I'm worried. I went to bed. I thought, oh no, I don't know what to do. And it was the middle of winter. It was really cold again. It's probably like February, March time. I thought, well, it'd be all right. He's our dog. He'll probably just come and sit. I actually got up in the night a couple of times, opened the door, he wasn't there.
See if he was there, yeah.
Not there, and I'm really worried now. I start to really worry, and I'm thinking, what will we do? Is he been knocked over? Whatever. Got up the next morning, nothing. Carried on with my work. Had a walk around, couldn't find him. Shouted him, whistled him, nothing. And I got a phone call about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the day after he's missing, and it was from Manchester Dog Zone. And he said that a warden in Rochdale, I have no idea how he got to Rochdale, had picked him up in the morning. Someone had reported him, they picked him up, and they took him into Manchester Dog Zone, and I could come and fetch him from Manchester Dog Zone. So I went, all right, okay. Drove down to Manchester, to the Dog Zone, and the bloke says, yeah, that's 150 quid. And I went, you what? He said, yeah, it's 150 quid because he's missing and stuff, and that's how it is. And I was skint then. I was skint.
Yeah.
I was really poor at the time. And I said, how much is it if I made a donation and took him back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says, what do you mean? He said, well, if I left him here and then, you haven't found the owner and then you put him up for adoption, how much is that? And he went, 80 quid. And I said, how long before he goes up for adoption? He said, 3 days. I said, all right, and I'll see you in 3 days. And his mouth just opened like.
They'd be used to proper dog owners.
I know. He just paid
Go, oh, thank God you fancy me.
150 quid, there you go. And I went, no, he can learn. So I left him there for 3 days. Came back and paid the 80 quid. And he said, well, what if I let him go to someone else? I said, well, why would you do that? That'd be really cruel. And I'll just report you to the Manchester Evening News. I think it's disgraceful. I do think it's disgraceful. I mean, 150
that would be.
quid.
Yeah, it's not fair
Anyway,
at all.
so he spent, when I came back after 3 days, he went absolutely mental.
Bless him.
He went absolutely mental, and he was so pleased to see me. And then I walked around for the next 3 days. I sound really heartless on this now. And he won't leave my side then for about 2 weeks. We didn't stop him.
Every single time we've moved house, though, he's gone AWOL.
Oh, do you remember Berry? Oh, there was Thingy first, wasn't it? When we was in Oldham.
Yeah.
When we was in that house, and we were sitting there having a glass of wine. It must have been about 1 o'clock in the morning. And back door was open because it was warm. It's a balmy night. And the phone rang. And there's a girl drunk.
Yeah.
Saying, have you lost a dog? And I'm like, oh, God, where are you? And it was like a mile away. Right in the centre of Leeds, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Outside a pub. Next to a taxi rank. And this girl had found him. And what they do is they think he's lost. And he never is lost, is he, generally?
Oh, not there. He absolutely knew where he was around there.
You know, and he just make his way home.
Do you know what the best one was at Oldham Road? Do you remember that Saturday night when we must have been really drunk or tired / both, and that was about 1 in the morning. Again, balmy night, door open, just closed the door and went to bed. The next day, Kerry from next door's knocking on saying, "You left Kit out. He's been in my kitchen all night."
Barking.
And we were like, "Oh my God."
I know. We must have been well out of it.
We must have been
well out of it. I don't know. So then we moved to Bury. Same thing happened in Bury.
Yeah,
didn't
kept doing one in Bury every opportunity. He just used to slip out the back door and
wander
run.
off. I think he doesn't run. He just kind of goes, oh, well, if these two aren't coming for a walk, I'm going to go for a walk on my own.
I think he does. He's not being naughty, is he? He's just meandering, isn't he?
In his head, he must be thinking, oh, I'm just going for a walk. And then because the society is like it is today, if they see a dog unattended, everyone rings you up.
Yeah, they do.
Do you not remember that one? There's one here in the summer. We were out the back and the phone rang, and this lad said, "Have you lost a dog?" And I went, "Oh yeah, yeah," like that. And I said, "Where are you?" And he told me where he was. And he was outside our house.
Literally at our gate, wasn't it?
At our gate, like that. He'd found him outside the gate. So, but my favourite story.
I know what it is. It's Snowdon, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you start and I'll chip in.
Okay. Well, we'd gone camping and we were going up, marching up Mount Snowdon with the dog, but we didn't take him with us because we were going to do Crib Gawk.
Yeah, Crib Gawk is
tricky.
It's really tricky. It's like a really narrow ridge, isn't it? And we did research it because Kit.
I'd actually done it before, so I knew that it was really difficult. And
Kit has climbed loads of mountains.
He's very, very good, but I just wouldn't want to be responsible for anybody other than myself up there because you have to concentrate so hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's 3-point contact all the way around, isn't it?
Yeah,
so you can't be messing about with bloody leads and things like that. You're just going to die.
You should Google Crib Gawk because it is one of the most scariest things I've probably done in a long time.
Yeah, it's properly scary. But our friend Rob was with us, wasn't he? And he was going up an easier way with his 2 daughters. So they were very happy to take Kit their way and we'll all meet at the top, which was fine. So we all set off, and we were halfway across.
We crossed Crib Gawk and we got to the other side, and I'd been for a poo.
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. You literally shit yourself up Crib Gawk.
I did, and I got a text, which is weird, up Snowdon because it's not normally.
The text was the best though.
Yeah, it said. It said, "Oh, lost Kit."
Lost Kit. LOL. Wow. Is he taking the mickey? Has he really? So we didn't know whether to believe him,
Tried
really,
to ring
did
him
we?
And the phone wasn't working.
Yeah, you never have a signal at mine.
Never have a signal. So we finally get to the top, to the calf at the top, and we meet up with Rob and his daughters.
Yeah.
And he says, he said they were walking up, just came out of the mist, and they took Kit off the lead because they thought it'd be all right, and he'd seen a sheep. and legged it after the sheep. And that was the last they'd seen. So I'm like, oh, brilliant. So we've lost Kit. I literally lost him on top of a mountain. And I was sitting there. That minute, he tells me that, doesn't he? We sit down, we're having a cup of tea, and I'm thinking, all right, what we're going to do, You know, he is lost, and he's going to turn up. It's a big mountain, and he could come off any direction, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
And, you know, whichever direction he comes
be
off,
anywhere,
it could
literally.
be absolutely anywhere. So, so we sat there, and I'm a bit depressed. I'm like, oh, gee, I can't believe I've lost my blooming dog. And I get a phone call. My phone works.
The signal just
like
floated in.
Floats in. And this bloke says, "Have you lost a dog?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I've got him here." Is it black? I said, "Yeah, black and white border collie." He says, "Yeah." And he was outside Rob's van. He'd made his way right back down to the car park where he started from.
To a vehicle that he was unfamiliar with.
And he was just sat out there. And I said to the man, I said, "I'm at the top of the mountain. I'll be about 2.5 hours away from you. 2 at the best, really." He said, I said, "Just leave him there, or just tie him to the, you know what I mean, give him a drink of water, and, you know, I'll be down." So I pegged it down, didn't I?
Yeah.
You actually went another way, didn't you? You and Ian and Tristan. Anyway, I got down to the bottom, and no dog. I got no signal, because we're right in the heart of the mountains, and then you get to me, don't you?
Yeah.
We get to the car, go to the car, and then we had to drive all the way to Carnarvon
To get a signal.
to get a signal on the phone.
And I'm going, it's not. Oh, there's an answer phone message, Mark. An answer phone message. Stop the car. Answer phone message. It's right back the other way. We turn left instead of right. So we had to go right, trace a steps right the way back, and then go about another 5 miles in completely the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And then we were saying, oh, he's going to be so pleased to see us. So we got, what did he do? Just ignored us and lolloped into the car. In fact, he was that knackered that night. He didn't even grovel for food off the barbecue, did he?
I know. He was so tired. But hats off to him. He got himself off the mountain.
Do you remember that man as well? That was when his injury is a big story in his life, really, because his neck was bad at the time. I remember the guy ringing you up at the top of the mountain and saying he's in a bad way. You need to get him to a vet. And you tried to start explaining what was going on, and I think that's why I shifted him. I think he thought he was injured.
Yeah,
whereas
maybe.
We knew it was more.
You should
of a
tell him about that.
thing.
Actually, that was horrific. That was like nearly 2 years of his life as well.
It was.
We went to. This is a massive warning as well to dog owners.
Yeah.
He loves a stick. Kit does. He loves chasing sticks, and I was warned off sticks. Lots of people said don't throw sticks because they can damage themselves. Anyway, we went on a bike ride with the kids, didn't we?
Yeah.
One day, we went up to this park, and what Kit does is he finds a stick and then he finds a kid, and because a kid will always throw sticks for him, and he found this family really, and they were next to a sandpit, and this bloke. This is what I presume happened, because I didn't really see what happened, but he threw the stick stuck in the sandpit, and Kit ran onto the stick. Anyway, he had 4 operations because we knew something was in there, and if you look at him now, he still can't really lift his head up.
No, he's had a lot of tissue taken away from his neck.
Yeah, loads of tissue. But on the last operation, I mean, it was just weeping and weeping.
We just
and
had a
weeping,
weeping sinus for years, and we kind of started
about
thinking maybe this is just how it is.
And then I said, this is not fair, this, because it's going everywhere. I mean, I was cleaning it every day with salt water, or that saline stuff that you bought from work, and just, you know, trying to keep him clean all the time. Bandaged him up, trying to find different ways to stop this pus going everywhere. In the end, I went to the vet and I said, look, you've either got to get it out or you got to put him down.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. I think he's in
pain.
pain.
Yeah.
And she went, okay then. And she did it. And she put him under. And when I went round to collect him, they'd taken a piece of stick out of his shoulder, his right shoulder, that was about the length of my little finger. I mean,
it was. I remember it.
Oh,
it was massive.
Absolutely.
But then we're going. He's been up blooming mountain. I mean, that wasn't the only mountain. He's been up loads of us.
He went up to Fran. He's been up to Fran twice.
Yeah.
He's been up Mole Sabod. He's been up Snowdon.
Scrambling.
You know, and I mean, the dog is well hard, isn't he?
He is hard. He's really tough.
Oh, I mean, so hard. But that was like the hardest the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, and that kind of I was quite bitter against him at that point
At the
as well,
beginning.
because I didn't really want the dog, and then I'm stuck with this dog that's got this life-changing injury, and I'm responsible for it, and you're a bit like, oh, go away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but we sorted him out, and they took that out, and he's right as rain again, isn't he?
He was was it last year, August Bank Holiday weekend when we were camping?
Oh.
And
I
we've
think
been
that
up
was
a
lack of
mountain.
water, you know.
Yeah, I think it was lack of water.
Lack of water. Dehydration, I think that was.
But what was it? Was it? Did his neck not start oozing it? Oh no!
Yeah.
It became really, really swollen all around his neck and face, didn't it?
Yeah, we put him down again, haven't we? There.
Yeah, so we took him straight to the vets. The vet said, "There's no way I'm going in there again. That's it. That I'm not operating," which is fair enough. I know.
To be fair, the vet said, "Oh yeah, we need to do this test, that test, this test, that test. That's going to cost you about £1,500."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I'll just put him down then." He went, "You what?" I said, "Just put him down. I ain't paying that kind of money." And he went, "Oh well, let's you know what I mean? Let's backtrack a bit. Let's backtrack a bit."
He ended up just having some blood stun, didn't he?
No, he didn't even have that. He had antibiotics, and he was right as rain 2 days later.
I know he did snap to. I remember though, it took him a few days to snap to, because I remember going into work and I was telling Lynn at work, because I know Lynn's got a dog, and I was saying, "Oh, I can't believe," because they went through all this leaking sinus with me as well, and they're saying, "I don't know what's going on with him." And I started telling her that it was poorly and that we thought he might have to be put down. I started crying. And I was like, wow, they so grow on you, don't they?
They do.
It really upset me. They thought, see, they were a presence. He's sat there now and he's a presence in the kitchen, isn't he? He's there. You miss him.
I know.
Bless him.
He's a good lad.
He is a good dog.
He is a good lad.
He's very intuitive. He knows when you're sad, doesn't he?
I think all dogs are pretty good at that.
Oh, are they?
I think that's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. They'll come to you if they can sense that you're feeling low. They'll come and lick you and stuff, which makes me even lower, because the last thing I want.
Get off me, you slobberer.
Is some slobbering dog all over me. But I mean, he's top dog, really. And then there was the last time he went missing. That
was the one in Derbyshire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About a month after Snowdon, when we were out with Rob again.
Yeah, we went up. It was all around Hollinsclough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the Peak District, and same again. He's on a lead, because we kept him on a lead, didn't we? Because we were angry with him.
Yeah, we're still cross with him.
We kept him on a lead, and we went through this stile. Had one of those lifty dog things,
That's right.
Some listeners won't know, but if you go through some styles, they have like a piece of wood that you lift up and the dog can shoot through. So we let him through first, and he just saw sheep, didn't he?
Yeah,
just saw sheep, and away he went, and he was gone.
And then that blooming wrecked it. We then had to start looking for him while everyone else continued with the
2 hours
walk.
on this 2 hours on this hill, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just looking for a dog, and then we came off the other side, walked round this hill, and then as we were just going back towards the campsite, I heard a dog barking.
It was really distant. You did well to hear it.
It must have been
really distant.
Because I'm blooming deaf. It must have been at least a half a mile away.
Oh yeah.
And I could see this dog behind a fence and hear the bark, and it was him. It was him. Bloody jammy, bloody Lord,
he's a lucky
bloody
dog.
kit.
I know. He's a lucky dog.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And he just continues to live a bloody charmed life all his life, doesn't he, really?
Oh, yeah. He's a properly looked after. He always looks bloody miserable, though, doesn't he?
He does look miserable. It's because he's
makes
hungry.
Me feel guilt. Yeah.
He's hungry. No one will look after him now as well, will they? No one will, like if
no,
we go...
Oh, yeah, no one will have him for us when we go.
Because what he does, although Margaret next door, she's very kind. But what he does, he gets to about 7, 8 o'clock at night and then just stands in front of people barking, doesn't he? Until they either feed him or kill him. And he's not dead yet, so they just feed him. And then he
again, though, he's worked it out. That's what he needs to do to get food.
Clever. Like now, if he barked in front of me, he'd get us bloody.
I remember you
tell it
were
off.
really cross last night. You came in the kitchen for something. I can't remember what. And it wasn't food related anyway, and he eagerly followed you into the kitchen.
Oh yeah, he will.
He
won't
loves it in here.
Absolutely loves it in here when there's food.
He must be able to just smell all sorts though when you think.
Well, and now we've got a new bin. I mean, he must be gutted.
You can't get in the bin.
Because he can't get in the bin. He can't get in the bin. I mean, I reckon 9 times out of 10, whilst we've been living here, we come down, forgetting to put the bin away at night. And
by away, we mean up out of reach, so the dog
on top
can't
of the
get
fridge
to
or
it.
somewhere. And he gets in, and he'll just like be sucking on tea bags, and I don't know what he eats.
We never throw food away. And if we make a chicken, or boil a chicken carcass up, that goes straight outside, doesn't it? So there's never anything in it to entice him.
He's just a greedy bleeder, isn't he? Greedy bleeder.
Bless him.
Well, that's it, really. That's our kit.
How we acquired a dog.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Although we have talked about funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Funerals, haven't we? And what we're going to do when he dies.
Yeah.
Because this made me laugh, actually. The last time we took him up to Fan, as we were going up, there was there were 3 lads coming down, and one of them was like a proper mountaineer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was quite a cold day. Proper mountain gear, rucksacks, boots, gaiters, everything. And then these 2 lads, all Scousers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Not that obviously I love Liverpool, and if you want to download this in Liverpool, you're more than welcome. But they do have a reputation for being, what's the word I'm looking for? Chavvy, I suppose. And they're walking down and they were wearing like trainers.
Yeah, well, the guy that
jeans.
Was saying he was never, ever going to do anything like that again just had plimsolls and jeans on, didn't he?
So they got up in the morning.
Unsubstantial.
They got up in the morning and they'd taken their dad's ashes, these 2 brothers, and their friend, who was obviously a walker, had helped them. His dad had been up Trifan once.
And had said he wanted...
It wasn't actually Trifan, they were on the other one, the Glidders, weren't they? Somewhere on the Glidders. And he loved one of the Glidders. And they'd come down and they were covered in mud, they were freezing, probably starving, they had nothing to drink. So ill-equipped, it's unbelievable. And they were just moaning and moaning and moaning. But it gave me the idea, I just thought, we ought to cremate him and take him on top of a matting. I think the most fun he's ever had, apart from chasing horses or sheep or cats or squirrels, is
definitely on mountains. Definitely loves it.
Yeah.
How much would it cost to cremate him though? Because your other idea was just to bury him, wasn't it?
I've got that shed down the garden.
Give over.
And then we could have like a Viking. Do you know what I mean?
Hey.
We could take him on to...
I don't want to burn him in garden though. It's massive.
Why don't we build a raft? Right, build a raft out of some old barrels or something. Tie it all together.
Yeah.
Shed loads of diesel.
Yeah.
Loads of sticks.
That's what they did in our film, Captain Fantastic.
Captain Fantastic.
Yeah.
Should do that, shouldn't we?
That's what we'll do.
A Viking burial for
That's
Kit.
what we'll do.
Kit the Wonder Dog. And just keep his collar and keep it on.
We need, to properly do something about it. We've got some beautiful photographs of him. We do need to probably... Oh, we can do that when he's dead. We can look at him every day now, can't we?
Yeah, I suppose.
Put him up wall when he's gone.
I suppose. Well, that concludes, I think.
Absolutely and definitively.
Kit's episode. Well, there'll be an update when he dies. Unless he does something maverick in the near future. We won't be revisiting, will we?
No, we won't. No.
So I hope you have a nice week. And we'll see you in another 4 years, probably, when we do the next podcast.
No, we'll definitely do one next week.
Will we?
Say that every time, don't we?
You say that every time. I'd do one, a tip of a hat.
No, well, I would actually.
Would you?
It's right enough, isn't it?
It is right enough.
It's all we do anyway, just bloody gibber all day long at each other.
It's getting down to recording it. I'm going to add, we ought to add an advert in this.
Oh, I love
Should we add an advert?
Yeah, let's.
All right, hang on then. We'll just turn it off for now. I'll see you later,
Bye.
podcasters. Bye.
Hey, this is Foxy Loud coming at you from Loud FM, the Northwest favourite station in your town of Oldham. Today's news. Police have warned children in Oldham to be on the lookout for a rogue fairground barker who's been tricking youngsters. He's described as having big teeth, large ears and big eyes. Please, children, do be extra careful out there today. And coming up next, Britain's #1.